Hi everyone, welcome back to the video. It's another episode of my Championship matchday predictions. So we're going to get straight into this one. We've got another fixture list coming out on Saturday, plenty of games to get stuck into. So we're going to get stuck into this one. The first, there's actually two games on Friday night, both kicking off at 7:45. I'm going to start off with the televised one. It's Cardiff, they're home to Preston. So obviously we had Cardiff got beat by Fulham on Boxing Day. Look, they lost 4-2 there. And it's a chance for them to turn it around back at home again, get another home win. Something they've done quite well this season, so they've only lost one home game this season. But they're coming up against a tough Preston side who've got playoff credentials of their own to try and achieve this season. A point against Barnsley and a clean sheet against Barnsley isn't the worst result they could have picked up over the weekend. Obviously they went narrowly close a couple of times with some of the chances they had, and probably should have won the game really. On another day they probably would have probably won the game. Some of the chances they hit the post and the woodwork would have probably gone in. But looking at the way Cardiff played on Boxing Day, it wasn't really a fantastic performance. I felt like Fulham probably played the better out of the two teams, and it's not really much of a worry, I don't think. But it's just been another tough game for them. If they don't win this game and that, they could lose touch on the top two, who do play later on Saturday as well. But looking at where it's going to go, I'm going to go over draw. I'm going to go for 1-1. I think Preston will give it a good go, especially away from home. They're a good counter-attacking side. I do think they'll cause Cardiff problems, and for that reason, I do see them getting a goal and coming away with a point. So we're going to go straight into the next one. The second one's a London derby, actually. Millwall home to QPR, another 7:45 kick-off. This one's not on TV though, however. And Millwall got a good point against Wolves on Boxing Day. 2-2 draw. 1 point, coming back from, took the lead through 1-0. Then showed good fighting spirit to come back from 2-1 to get a point thanks to Jake Cooper's late header. Lee Gregory also got a goal as well. He made it 1-0 Millwall in the first half. And they come up against QPR, who got a decent point, I'd say, against Ipswich, which is probably what they would have been pleased with. They probably would have taken the point beforehand. They had a couple of chances to probably win the game in the first half. They didn't create much in the second half. Obviously, Josh Scowen's now suspended after getting a second bookable offence in that game. He got sent off in that one, so they're looking to try and replace him for one game in the midfield. And look how it's going to go. I do fancy QPR to nick this 2-1. I think Millwall are a very similar team to QPR, are a very similar team to Millwall. Play similar type of football. They like to play a bit direct and it's counter-attacking stuff. I do think that'll suit QPR. And if the game opens up, I think on the counter-attack they've got some very good players such as Mackie, Washington as well, and even Pavel Shawak, who can get in behind and really cause problems. Obviously got the aerial threat of Matt Smith as well, depends if he starts or on the bench, and even Idrissa Silla as well, and including Luke Freeman as well, a bit of creativity there. And I do think they'll win this one 2-1. I see Millwall taking the lead again, but I think it's QPR have got plenty of other options on the bench, plenty of different dimensions to experiment during the game and try and get the 3 points, and I think they'll just edge this one 2-1. So we're going to go straight to the Saturday games between Barnsley. They host Reading. Obviously, I was talking about Preston drawing with Barnsley. It was probably a better point for Barnsley, I'd say. They're probably fortunate to get the point. I feel like Preston had the better chances out of the two teams in that game. And it's another big test against a Reading side who have, in the last 2 or 3 games, have been a little bit out of form. Prior to the last couple of games, the defeat against Burton and defeat against Bristol City, last 2. Prior to that, they've done quite well. Okay, they got beat by Ipswich as well, so they lost 3 out of the last few games. So they need to probably pick up some form like they did before they went to Ipswich. They picked up a nice little bit of run of form which took them up into about 14th or 13th. They need to do that here. And it'd be a good chance against the Barnsley side who haven't been playing great football, but they haven't got results either. So this is a massive 3 points for either side, and it's a big chance for them to kick on, stake a claim and just try and move up the table a bit more. And looking at where it's going to go, I'm going to go over an away win. I'm going to go over Reading 2, Barnsley 0. I think Reading are going to have a bit too much quality with the likes of Modu Barrow, Luko, Kermagan in the attack, also Dave Edwards as well. They've got a decent defence. The only thing I would worry about is Manone in goal. Obviously against Burton the other day, he made a quite sloppy mistake for their second goal. And they need him to be fit and firing in between the sticks and make sure that he doesn't make any mistakes and any calamities. So they do want to come away with 3 points. But I just think that Reading have a little bit too much quality. I do see the Royals getting back to winning ways at Oakwell. So going to the next one, Birmingham host Leeds. Birmingham were quite poor against Norwich, and I mentioned that in the review yesterday as well. And there's no beating around the bush. They did fail to create any type of clear-cut chance in the second half. They had 2 or 3 chances in the first half, but obviously a failure to put the ball in the back of the net again. I think it's only 12 goals, or maybe a little bit more maybe they've scored this season. And the problems are coming in the final third, really, because if you don't score goals and you're staying in, it puts yourself at risk that you could lose a game by the odd goal or 2, especially if you're not creating the chances to put pressure on the other team as well. And then defensively they weren't great against Norwich either. A couple of sloppy mistakes from the first goal as well, poor defending, switching off from a short free kick, and the second one as well. They tried to play a higher line and the ball got played through. Not all the defence stepped up together, and then obviously Norwich at the second goal. But looking at the way Leeds are playing at the moment, they're playing fantastically well, and I do see Leeds winning this game quite comprehensively. A 3-0 away win, I think, for me. Just for the fact they're playing some really good stuff, good coming back from 1-0 down against Burton to win 2-1. A couple of well-taken goals in that game as well. And they're playing some good stuff. I don't see no reason why they can't continue their playoff form at the moment and continue their very good Christmas period. So I'm going to go with a 3-1 lead, yeah. So into the next game, Brentford versus Sheffield Wednesday. Again, Brentford picked up a solid result against Aston Villa, and also Sheffield Wednesday as well. They did beat Nottingham Forest away from home 3-0. So both sides won their last game. It's just been an entertaining game, really. Obviously, Brentford come back, took the lead through Romain Sawyers, and then Josh Onham got the equaliser, and then they come back and got a goal later on in the second half to win 2-1. And as for Sheffield Wednesday, a comprehensive 3-0, very dominant display at Nottingham Forest, where they did take all 3 goals quite well. Lucas Shaw's now back in the team. He's fit and firing again after taking his goal quite well. Jordan Rhodes and Adam Reach with the other 2 goals in that game. And look at where it's going to go. I do think this will be a draw. Obviously, Brentford have got a knack of drawing games at home. They've done that quite a lot this season at home, from winning positions as well in particular. So we're looking to try and put that to bed and try and get a second home win in a short succession of days, really, against another big team who are probably tipped for promotion. But looking at Sheffield Wednesday, Carlos Carvalhal also just been announced as new Swansea manager, which is a bit of a strange appointment to me. But let's not talk about that. But looking at where he's going to go, I'm going to go for a draw in this one. I'm going to go for a 1-1. I think it'll be quite a cagey affair. I think it will open up in parts of the game, but I think both teams will score. But Brentford's home form, I think, will just give them a draw, I think, because they do draw a lot of games, as I said. Let's go into the next game. Burton hosts Norwich. This will be an interesting game, really. I can see Burton getting something from this game, because Norwich, okay, they beat Birmingham away from home, but they haven't been playing too great prior to that. A couple of sloppy results at home against Brentford, and as well, a couple of other games on the road as well, suggests that they're a very inconsistent team this season, and they need to try and get some consistency together, string a couple of decent results together, maybe a couple of wins and a couple of draws along the way, and especially over this busy period where games are coming thick and fast. And they need to try and do that if they want to stand any chance of getting the top half. I think the playoffs is a bit too much of a big ask for them, in my opinion. And they come up against the Burton side, you probably felt they were unlucky not to get a point from Leeds. They had a couple of chances at the end. Marvin Sordell went narrowly wide from a direct ball put into the box. And obviously, look at Tom Naylor's goal. Questions of offside may have come and bited them back in the backside towards the end. That bit of luck they got in the first half kind of left them in the second half. That's probably one of the reasons why they didn't get a point from that game. But look at where this is going to go. I'm going to go for a 2-2 in this game. Burton do score some goals, but defensively they're quite woeful this season. They do leak a lot of goals, and they're a team that will always give other teams chances, especially when they're playing them at home or away. And Norwich have got a good attacking line, good firepower up front, but they also have the tendency to leak a couple of goals and get the odd poor result and the odd slip up as well. So moving on, Hull host Fulham in the next one. Obviously, Hull got a good result, a clean sheet and a point against Derby, a 0-0 draw at the K-Com on Boxing Day. It was a good result for them. Many tipped high-flying Derby to go there and get 3 points and sweep them aside quite comprehensively. They didn't do that, and Hull had the best chance of the game through Michael Hector from a free kick into the box. He probably should have put that in the back of the net, but they got a point in the end, which wasn't the worst result in the world for Nigel Atkins, man. And he's done quite well since going in there. He's obviously taken 3 points from Brentford, narrowly went down 1-0 to Cardiff, and also done quite well, narrowly went down to Leeds as well, and also picked up a point against Derby. So it shows that he's having an effect on the team, but he's come up against a good Fulham side who won 2 games from 2 against Barnsley and Cardiff, and on their travels from, they're starting to get some momentum together now. 2 wins from 2, as I said. And for them, the type of team who do hit form towards the second half of the season, as we saw last year, they hit fantastic form last year, which took them from 10 points off the playoffs on the 3rd of January, and it took them into the playoffs come May. So I don't know where it's going to go for me. I'm going to go for 3-1 away win, just for the fact that Fulham are playing some really good football at the moment, but this is not going to be an easy game. Hull are going to come well organised. They're going to have chances of their own as well. They've got some fantastic players in their side who are going to cause problems, but I just think Fulham playing with great confidence at the moment, and in this league, once you play with confidence, you look forward to every game and each opportunity that comes to try and add to that run, and add to a chance to try and get 3 points. And for that reason, I do fancy Fulham to run out quite comprehensive winners. So moving to the next game, Ipswich host Derby. It's been an interesting game as well for Ipswich. 0-0, both sides in this game both drew 0-0 on Boxing Day. Obviously Ipswich with QPR and Derby drew 0-0 with Hull respectively. And looking at where this is going to go, this will be another tight game, I think. If Ipswich lose this game, it means they lose ground on the playoffs. And if Derby lose this game, it means they allow the teams below them to try and catch them up a bit, gain a bit of ground as well in the playoff race. So it's very tight. It's fine margins in this league, especially in the top 6 and in the bottom 4 as well this year. And look at where it's going to go. I'm going to go for a Derby away win. It'll be a very tight game. I'm only going to go for a 1-0 in this one because I think there won't be much in it between 2 good sides who've played very good football this season. They've showed both their fans that they're capable of doing quite well this season and exceeding any expectations that many fans might have had come the start of the season. And I do think that looking at the way Derby are playing, you've got David Nugent, Mate Vidra all firing on all cylinders at the moment. And they're playing some good stuff, obviously, but the draw against Hull wasn't the worst result in the world. It's a game that probably would have lost last season, so it's good they came away with something. And it's been another tough test against Ipswich, so I haven't been playing too poorly either. But as I said, it'll be a tight game with Derby just to edge it for me 1-0. So moving to the next one, Middlesbrough host Aston Villa. This is a huge game. I think it's Tony Pulis' first game in charge, I think, of Middlesbrough. It might be, I'm not too sure, but I'm 9 times out of 10 sure it's going to be his first game in charge. So it'll be his first chance to look at the team in the game. Obviously, he watched the Bolton game, so he's had a look from the stands to see what he might go with. And he's going to get a chance in another match situation, this time in the dugout, to try and see what his best team could be. And he's coming up against Aston Villa side. They've had a recent dip in form at the moment. A couple of poor results. A draw against Sheffield United on Saturday, and then a defeat against Brentford on Boxing Day. 1 point out of possible 6 taken from them 2 games against 2 teams they probably would have looked at, considering the form they had gone into the Christmas period. They'd have probably looked at that and thought they could have taken 6 points from that. They came over only 1 point in that game, in both them games. So they need to try and get some forms back together again. I've heard John Terry's back in training now ahead of his broken metatarsal injury, which he picked up against Sheffield Wednesday back in, I think, late October, early November. That'd be a big boost for them. Obviously, they started Tommy Elphick at the back in the game against Brentford, so it'd be good for them to try and get him back in the team because he's been crucial to their first half of the season's success. But look how it's going to go. I'm going to go over a 1-1 draw in this game. I think this will be a draw written all over it for me. Both sides will be quite a cagey affair, and both sides will not want to lose this game just for the reasons they don't want to lose ground on the playoffs, and for that reason it'll be a 1-1. Let's go into the next game, Nottingham Forest host Sunderland. I'm going to go for draw in this game again. Both sides do leak a lot of goals. I think it'll be a 2-2 draw. Be quite a tight affair. Both sides haven't played too great. Both sides did lose 3-0 as well on Boxing Day against Sheffield Wednesday, Nottingham Forest did, and then Sunderland lost to Sheffield United. So it'll be a 2-2 draw for me. I think both sides will score plenty of goals in this game. It'll be a good game, goals galore, but both sides do have defensive frailties, and for that reason it'll be a point each and a 2-2. So into the penultimate game, it's Sheffield United versus Bolton. I'm going to go over home win in this game. I'm going to go over 3-0 home win again, a second 3-0 in a short succession of days for Sheffield United. Playing some good stuff at the moment and playing some very good football. Back to winning ways after a couple of shoddy defeats saw them nearly fall out of the playoff places. They're still in 6th position at the moment by a few points. And they come against the Bolton side, who haven't done too great recently, but haven't done too poorly. But I think they come up against a very good Sheffield United side and just come short against that and lose 3-0. And going to the final game, Bristol City host Wolves. Fantastic spectacle this is. And I think if Wolves do win this, I think they'll win the Championship title. However, if Bristol City do get something from this game, it opens it up a little bit more between the top 2. And it's going to be a fantastic game between two sides who've really took this division alight this season. It'll be an interesting game to see what happens. But looking at the way it's going to go, I'm going to go for draw again. I'm going to go for a 1-1. I think it'll be quite a tight affair. Again, similar to a couple of games, both sides will not want to lose this game. And I think the point will be an even equation on how the game's going to go. So there it guys, there's my Championship predictions for Saturday. If you do like it, hit that button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and we'll see you all on the next video. Bye bye.